Congratulations on making it to the late night scrolling finals. When you're lying in bed and just can't fall asleep, then you're in for a treat once again. Today, I'm guessing my dear viewers' phone batteries are probably around 55%. If I guessed right, make some noise in the comments. If I'm wrong, take a screenshot and post it in the comments. Now, please put your left foot behind your neck, and let's get straight into today's topic. A heavy snow has just fallen in the ice crystals wrap around every fold of the woods, and the branches are laden with nature's magic. A few soft rays of sunlight filter through the gaps, painting dappled shadows on the snow. Brom, who loves the snowy scenery, enters this dreamland with a shovel in hand. He plans to use the snow to build another small hut, so he can immerse himself in this purity and feel every breath of the world. First, he uses his shovel to gather the loose snow into a pile. Once it reaches a certain size, he repeatedly pats it down to compact it. The crisp sound echoes across the silent snowfield, traveling far into the distance. A little squirrel, hiding in a snow hole, pokes half its head out, its dark eyes scanning around warily. Perhaps feeling that patting with the shovel is too slow, Brom simply turns into a human compactor. The snow shakes violently under his impact, and a large chunk of the surface instantly caves in, like a tireless brown bear. He uses his thick chest and arms as the most primitive tools, slamming into the snow pile time and time again. The originally fluffy texture becomes compact at a visible speed. Then, Brom starts gathering more snow to build it up, layer by layer. A little deer in the woods leisurely grazes on wild grass, looking up from time to time, curiously watching this busy snowman. When Brom builds it to over a person's height, he begins to carefully dig with his shovel to create the main entrance, and then gradually hollows out the inside, bit by bit. Once the space is large enough, he climbs in to smooth it out. He pays special attention to the thickness of the snow walls, ensuring there's enough room to fit himself, while maintaining the hut's structural stability. Soon, the interior expansion is complete. Brom excitedly takes us on a quick tour. Perhaps feeling the entrance isn't aesthetically pleasing enough, he takes his shovel to carefully carve the edges, and plans to build an archway on the outside. First, he rolls over a few large snowballs and secures them round the door, stacking them into an arch structure. Since the top requires some support, he goes nearby, saws a wooden stick, and places it on top. As the outline of the archway gradually becomes clear, he uses handfuls of fine snow dust to carefully fill in the gaps, and smooths everything out perfectly. Instantly, giving the snow hut a fairy tale-like exquisite charm. After finishing, Brom sweeps the floor clean. Next, it's time to think about the interior decoration. He brings in a plastic Christmas tree, plugs it into a power bank, and lets the fairy lights twinkle inside the snow hut. The vibrant glow reflects off the thick snow walls, maxing out the cozy atmosphere. Having worked for most of the day, his body has already gone numb from the cold. Brom hurriedly grabs his saw and collects plenty of dry firewood, bringing it back to camp to chop into manageable sizes, and then stacking it just inside the doorway. Dancing flames roar against the biting wind. Brom rubs his freezing red hands together, leaning close to soak in the warmth, a satisfied smile appearing on his face. Once his body temperature recovers a bit, just like a primitive man, he dances wildly around the campfire. The firelight dances on his rugged face, reflecting a wild gleam in his eyes, as if bridging thousands of years, resonating with the ancestors who lit the first bonfire here. Afterward, he takes us to explore the forest. The vast snowy ground is marked with mottled paw prints from wild beasts, like nature's own exquisite painting. Brom leads us to find his old shelter from a long time ago. It has long since been deeply buried by heavy snow. The fading of old things is often accompanied by the birth of new hope, but the memories left here are eternal. After exploring, Brom returns to the snow hut. By now, the bonfire has produced plenty of charcoal. He shovels some into a metal box, ready to cook dinner. Fresh steak sizzles as it's grilled over the charcoal fire. The dust kicked up by the blower mingles with the aroma of the meat, spreading through the air. Fat dripping onto the coals, sparks bursts of embers. He flips the steak occasionally, his eyes focused and full of anticipation, as if sculpting a precious work of art. Soon, the surface of the steak is beautifully seared, giving off a tantalizing aroma. In the solitude of this icy wilderness, it becomes the warmest source of comfort. Having eaten and drank his fill, Brom takes his sleeping mat and sleeping bag into the snow hut. Then, he hangs up a cozy camping light. The gentle glow on the snow walls casts a flickering warm yellow hue, tenderly illuminating every carefully carved inch inside. Next, he blasts the ceiling with a blowtorch. Under the high heat, the snow chunks rapidly melt and refreeze, forming a smooth, hard layer of ice. It's as if outfitting the snow hut with a crystal clear glass hat. This not only reinforces the ceiling's load-bearing capacity, but also effectively prevents snow melt from seeping in at night. After setting up this final layer of protection, Brom lies on his sleeping bag, feeling satisfied. Listening to the faint whimpers of the cold wind sweeping over the roof, his eyelids grow heavier and heavier. Soon, within this hand-built winter fairy tale, he drifts into sweet dreams. Perhaps when spring arrives, the snow hut will melt and return to the rivers. But the glow of that cold night, the aroma of the meat, and the deep slumber will freeze like a layer of ice in Brom's memory, hard and dazzling.